life at Next going?
Life at Next is good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long you been here now then?
So I started in early September. So
Of 23?
23,
Yeah. And why, talk me through what you do then, like what's your role at Next?
So I'm a graduate designer on jerseywear for womenswear.
Okay.
So yeah, I just work with the jersey team almost like an assistant would, helping to design new collections. And I also dip into trend a little bit as well. So I do once a week with the trend people of Next as well, rather than the jersey people.
Okay. So what are the trend people? That's a new one to me. That's a new one to
so
me.
we have like a team that works on basically just pulling the trends. So we look through all the catwalks and things like that to get all of the newness.
Nice.
Go through all of the fashion shows, all the street style, and then from that we build our trends, and then they get distributed to like the team that I work on. So it'll get distributed to the jersey team and the knit team and the denim team, and then we'll filter through all that research and then pull our collections together.
And is that just on women's wear, or do those trends go to all
No, that's just women's wear. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite nice to have both sides of it, because I get to kind of know all of the details before everybody else does, which as an entry-level role you wouldn't expect to be able to do.
No, it's quite good.
Yeah.
Quite a good opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of so you've been here since September. So in terms of working at Next, I guess there's people that you know that have worked here for such a long time as well.
Yeah.
But what motivated you to come to Next in the first place then?
So I feel like that's a funny question, because I don't know if my reason's probably the same as everybody else's that's like just started.
Okay.
I'm quite like I don't know the best way of putting it, but I like to give myself a challenge, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I have worked in the industry before a little bit, like during like university placement and stuff, but I just wanted something completely different that was kind of out of my comfort zone that I could get stuck into. And obviously Next is a massive company, it's constantly changing. But me personally, if I'm being totally honest, before I started at Next, I never would have considered myself as like the target market to shop there.
Yeah.
Whereas now that I'm actually here, I love that idea of, kind of changing that perception of my age group specifically. And kind of changing the way that my age group think about it. So that was kind of like the challenge I set to myself before starting here, and the reason why I wanted to work here is to kind of like change the perception of people my age.
It's a good challenge.
Yeah.
It's a good challenge.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully it's going well. I feel like it's going well. I think since I've started as well, now that I'm actually looking at the product, and once it's been designed into and I'm seeing it up in meetings before it gets signed off and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I would wear this. And it's nice that I've got like a nice fresh pair of eyes on it. And I kind of want to get to that point where other people, when I'm wearing Next, other people are like, oh, where's that from? And I'm like, it's from Next. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know. So yeah, it's playing with that whole new target audience and kind of opening them up to a new concept.
Yeah.
In a way.
And why do you think like yourself included, there are those perceptions to a certain target audience?
Next has so many different customer profiles. Yeah. They cater for so many different people. So I think when that is the case, your mum might shop at Next, your nan might shop at Next, your dad might shop at Next. You never considered that it's going to be a brand that can actually do all of them and do all of them really well. But actually, when you look at some of the products, you're like, oh yeah, I would definitely wear that. And obviously I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but the collections that I've seen since being here, I'm like, oh yeah, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to share that with everybody and get everybody else on the same page as me and make them think that way as well.
No, yeah. And where's that drive for a challenge come from? Is that something you've always had as a person?
Yeah. I've always been like that. I was a dancer I've danced since I could walk, from the age of 3. So, yeah, I've always had that kind of competitive, driven side to me, and I don't like no as an answer. So yeah, any sort of challenge that I can throw at myself, I do like to throw myself in at the deep end. I feel like that's where I work best and I get my best work done. So yeah, I think it's all come from that.
Nice. So you wanted a challenge. You saw the opportunity at Next. How did you come about the grad scheme then? How did you get onto that?
So I just kept checking on things like LinkedIn. I knew that they had them every year. So it was just a case of waiting for that time where the ad came up and just jumping on the opportunities as soon as I could see it. And as soon as I saw all of them coming out, I just applied for all of them. I was like, whatever it is, I just wanted to get that foot in the door. So I think I applied for denim, tailoring and jersey.
All on women's wear? All
on women's wear, yeah.
So
I knew
it was women's wear, like where you want to be? Yeah.
It's always women's wear that I've been interested in. And I feel like that is my design style. That's kind of where I produce my best work. So yeah, I just applied for them all and just waited to hear back. And I think I heard back from them all and interviewed, and that's when they kind of like slotted me into where they best saw fit.
And where's that design passion come from as well? Because I'm guessing, have you done that at uni or?
So I studied fashion buying with design at university.
Yeah.
Which was a very commercial course.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the university courses are fashion design, which is very like catwalk focused. So what you'd see going down the runway versus what you'd see in a store. Whereas my degree focused more on what you'd see in store or online in like a commercial.
And that's intentional from you, is it? You kind of knew that's the route
that's the route I wanted to go down. And I liked that the course that I studied had buying and design in it, so it kind of gives you that 360 vision, whereas obviously on most design courses you kind of learn all of the design skills. But since working here, I've noticed as a designer you work so closely with buying and so closely with merchandising. It's actually really handy to have that extra part of the degree, so you kind of know what their role entails a little bit. It makes it a lot easier for you to collaborate with them.
And is it really collaborative as well, working within that, within product?
You see your buyers and your merchandisers on a daily basis in whatever you're doing, whether it's like a sign-off meeting or just to get a second opinion on something that you're doing. So yeah, you work really closely with them.
And as a graduate, because you touched on it at the start, what kind of things are you involved with? So you've got that trends aspect, obviously.
Yes.
But what other things would you do within your role? You're not just obviously sitting on the sidelines and just kind of observing.
Yeah. So my department is kind of split into like two sections of jersey. Yeah. So you've got the more occasion side of jersey and the more casual side of jersey. So I, at the minute, am kind of floating between the two, picking
that's
up.
Nice.
So it's nice to kind of get. It's helping me as well understand what part I'm mostly interested in.
Got you.
So I float between the two. We'll go through that trend research, draw some shapes and things like that work for either or. And I'm kind of there as like a support system between the two girls that I work with on jersey. So there's three of us that design for jersey wear. So yeah, I'm kind of a floater, but just getting stuck in wherever I can at the minute. But yeah, kind of doing the same as what they do, but just both.
And you are, and do you work? How far ahead are you working? Quite far ahead then.
Yeah.
Now.
So we are at the minute. It's January now, and we're designing for September, October this year. So quite far in advance.
Oh wow! Yeah, almost a year ahead then.
Yeah, but we're also we have this thing called HELDS that means we design product for earlier on in the year as well, like May and that kind of timing, because obviously we get product from all over the world from loads of different suppliers with completely different locations. So we design really long into like our Far East territories, and they're the ones that we design in September and October. And then we also have other territories like Turkey that we can afford to design a little bit later because they're obviously closer to us. So yeah, it's a little bit confusing at times because you're designing one trend 1 minute and then you're jumping back into May at another time. So
and what does that allow Next to do, the business to do, having those two options?
It helps us to be really reactive to trends. So if we've seen something blow up all of a sudden and we can get it in sooner, that's when those closer territories are really handy for us. Whereas things that we know are definitely going to be a trend in like Christmas time, for example, you always know you're going to have those sparkly Christmas dresses and things like that. You can always design them way in advance.
Got you.
But yeah, the trend things that are like hot off the latest catwalk that everyone wants to wear right now, that's when the closer territories are really handy.
And what kind of element do you enjoy more?
I love the reactive stuff.
The reactive stuff, because it's more of a challenge.
Yeah, and I think it's what I'm used to from kind of experience that I've had in the past with other companies. I'm very used to like seeing something, getting straight on it, and going full steam ahead with it. So yeah, I love all of that reactive element of it.
Nice. And what's being here for 4 or 5 months now? What's your impression changed into now that you've been here a little while? What are the things that you've made you think, oh, actually this is a lot more different to work at, or it's a lot more, what are those things?
I think as a company, I've noticed the attention to detail that like Next as a brand takes into consideration. So it's not just, oh, we love that dress, let's do a version of it and sell it ourselves. It's how can we put like the next kind of spin on it that makes it perfect for the next customer. It's always really, really thought out for the customers that we have. As I've mentioned, there's loads of them, but making sure that it ticks all of those boxes for the customer at the end of the day, because that's who's going to buy it. So yeah, as a company, I think Next, like we really, really consider that, and that's a very big part of our job. It's not just make this design and it's done. You're always revisiting things, you're always improving things, you're always designing into things more. Whereas at the start, I probably just assumed you did something and okay, on to the next. But nothing's ever really finished.
Right.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, as in, there's always
more you can get.
More
there's
opportunities.
Yeah. There's always more you can do.
That's good.
Yeah.
And what's kind of the plan with your? Because is it a set amount of time? Is it a graduate scheme you're on?
Yeah. So mine is a 12-month contract. But who knows what's going to happen after that? Hopefully it will be extended.
But I guess you're hoping for more, aren't you?
Yeah. And there are a lot of like past graduates that I've almost stepped into their role now, and they're still here.
Nice.
So there is definitely that room if the job is available. I'm guessing hopefully you're there to kind of carry on. And I think Next do always have that intention of investing into that person and keeping them there and letting them grow into the team, obviously where they see fit. But I think I don't always think, obviously it is a 12-month contract, but most cases I've met loads from the last graduates that are all still here. So
that's good. And is that helped you kind of get knowledge from them as well and become part of that community? Yeah. And is it quite a supportive environment? Is it quite what's it like in terms of when you come in? Because I guess coming into a huge retailer like Next, you might be a bit like, you could be like blown away.
Yeah,
like, what am I doing?
It's not Double Wear's product.
No.
No, everyone's really friendly.
Right.
Okay. I mean, like I said, with my role, how I kind of float between the two, it's never, this is what you need to do, you need to get it done, and that's your job. My team, obviously I can't speak for everybody, but my team have always been like that, and have that supportiveness of, do you need any help on this, any support on this, or if there's something that I'm interested in that's not on my to-do list for that week, I think the girls that I work with are always really open to kind of letting me get exposed to everything that I want to be exposed to.
So you're not treated as much, are you treated more like a permanent
Yeah,
employee
definitely.
rather than like someone that's just coming in to do like the odd job?
No, it's not what you'd expect a typical like internal graduate role to be. I think a lot of people have this perception that it's get the printing done, get the coffees in. No, it's get the printing done, get your coffee and crack on.
And crack on.
Yeah,
they're almost like they're the easy bits.
Yeah.
Now you can actually do the designing. So you do what? Talk to me about some of the other elements that you do then. So are you actually designing things that will definitely go into like production and everything? Yeah,
I've already got bits that are going into production for next. Oh my god, it's not next anymore. It's this year. This like June, July time, because obviously when I started, that's what I first started working on. So yeah, the ball's rolling with that. I've already got designs coming. But yeah, it's not even just designs. We do inspiration trips as well. So we'll go to London. I know the girls on my team, they've been to like Amsterdam, and I think someone's going to Korea soon as well, and get inspiration from all over.
Wow.
So we'll hit the shops, we'll see what looks nice, we'll get inspiration, and we can design into things from that as well, rather than just looking at the catwalk. So.
And is that as important? Is that where is travel, catwalks? Are they the two main places you get your inspiration from? Or
I think so, yeah. And then also inspirational brands, competitors as well. If we know something's working really well for another brand, it's how do we react to that as a company and see fit with our customers as well, rather than just doing the same thing, because that doesn't actually always make the money. Yeah.
So now that you're in Next, and you're progressing, and hopefully you want to progress more and more, what's continually driving you forward now? You mentioned earlier obviously the challenge, but what else is driving you forward to kind of keep
I think knowing that I'm on this 12-month contract is constantly always like pushing me to prove myself, and not just sit and get too comfortable. I feel like when you start to understand a role, it's very easy to just do what your job asks of you. Yeah. Rather than getting stuck in, seeing where else you can help, make improvements, and use your knowledge to the best of its ability. But yeah, and I think, like I said, with that younger customer, it's constantly trying to add that value. I feel like I almost have that responsibility as somebody from that target market. You almost want to like set the record straight and be that kind of driving force of that. So that is constantly in the back of my mind, of kind of showing that I can provide that value for the company, rather than just being another member of a team.
It must be really exciting as well that you're seeing that product and you could start influencing that change. Like that's got to be a big driver of of doing that and working.
I'm waiting for that kind of like viral TikTok where someone's like, oh my god, I found this in Next, and I'm like, well, you're welcome.
No, it must be really nice, and I guess that's what's going to keep giving you the motivation, isn't it, to keep doing this and producing stuff like that as well. And what are some of the things around? So you're based at the Enderby Campus, aren't you? Yeah. You're here pretty much all the time. What's that like coming to the Enderby Campus, I guess? Like, what was your first impressions there?
It's nice. It's not typical corporate, this is your desk, this is your seat, like you're there 9 till 5. It's a very nice environment to be in. I make an effort to always get my breakfast in the morning and stop off for lunch. I always go upstairs above the canteen. I love that little area.
Oh yeah, nice area. It's a really nice area.
I just wish that coffee bar was open. But yeah, it's a lovely one, and the coffee shop I'm probably a bit too much of a regular in.
Oh really?
Yeah, I do love a coffee.
What we talk coffee? Yeah,
like frothy latte.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love coffee. I'm a coffy addict.
Yeah,
I'm like, if I've developed this habit of doing, I'll have like 2 in the morning quite close by, and I'm like, this can't be good for me, but I just can't stop.
Before I started, obviously, like when you get a new job, you're like, oh, I need new clothes to wear to the office, need this, need that. The first thing on my list to get for the office was a nice coffee mug.
Nice.
And I've got this like nice big chunky coffee mug, and every time I pass it over to the guy in the coffee shop, he's like, oh, you again with your latte. Yeah, coffee addict.
So you're enjoying a lot of the like the facilities and stuff like that then, yeah. And is there anything else around like campus and stuff that
I tend to stay, I feel like our phase has everything that you need,
great.
but and I feel like we've got the best room as well, because we have that little bit of where we overlook that pond. My desk sits right opposite that, so I've got scenic views, got my lovely coffee.
There'll be a lot of jealous people.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of people at the Enderby Campus will be like, oh, I'd kill for that view.
People always come into our room, like if they ever have a question or anything, they're like, oh, I love your room, we've got lovely glass desks, and we've got the best room.
Oh, that's really good. And what's it been like being within like a team environment? Is that, you mentioned you've worked at obviously other retailers and other brands as well. What's it been like working in that team that you're in now?
It's nice. I feel like everyone's just on the same page. And I think when I first got here, it took me a while to figure out what level everybody was at, if that makes sense, because we all just sit together on, which is a good thing, right? Yeah, long tables. It's not, oh, that person's obviously really important because they sit over there. Like it's very collaborative, and there's not that. Obviously, there is a hierarchy of your director in that, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like I can't talk to that person because they're obviously of that level. It's not like that at all. No,
I'd agree. I agree. That's across the whole business, to be honest. Everyone's very approachable. As long as you're like, obviously, respectful and, polite to everyone, which everyone absolutely is here, then everyone's willing to listen as well. It's not like, oh, you're a graduate or you're a trainee or you've just started, we don't want to hear from you. It's like, no, tell us the new ideas, like, well, what are we missing? Yeah, so that's good that you've got that then. That's good that it exists in design and stuff as well. And what... And if you were going to, even just at this early stage, what kind of stuff would you pass on to people that are thinking about applying for Next? That maybe that perception, they're like, this is a good opportunity in it to say, no, this is what Next is like. What advice would you give?
I would say throw yourself into it. Just go for it. If it's truly what you want to do, then do it, but make sure you do it with full commitment and 100%. Because like I said earlier, you could be that person that sits back and just becomes a member of the team, but with the company, if you have got those new ideas and you do want to kind of contribute them, that door is always open, and you've got a really good opportunity here to do that, and for them to nurture it in the best way possible, rather than being like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, I'll look at it later. So yeah, I'd just be 100% sure, and if you are, then go for it.
Great advice. And is that something that you think that's grown more because the people here have encouraged you to do that, or is that something you think?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it comes mostly from that competitive side, but it's probably only grown stronger since I've been here, and knowing that I haven't been shut down the first time I've suggested an idea, and knowing that they are there to listen, and they want to listen, only makes it more comfortable for you to do that. That's really, really important. I feel like as well, if you're at a company where you suggest an idea and they say, oh yeah, I'll look at it later, there's only so many times you then give that contribution to the point then where you go, okay, I'm starting to get the message now. They don't want to know. But obviously that's not the case here, so that's very nice.
No, really good, really good. And what kind of things are you now? What kind of things are you working on? What can you say or can't you say? Or
I don't know. We're working on September, October, so autumn trends. And I don't know how much more I'm allowed to say than that.
It's probably trying to squeeze you for wrong information.
I could maybe give you some general vibes of like what's coming. Like we've got that young, edgy customer ticked off. We've got that more stylish, elegant customer ticked off. But that's it. I'm done now.
Not saying anymore.
Yeah, I'm not losing my job today.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, I think the graduate scheme in general is like a really good thing that for people to, get involved in, and it's great that you're on that journey as well. And it's good to see someone coming into the business and going, take it on. Let's go. Let's have.
Well,
have
that's it, isn't it? That's next. That's the motto to a T. Let's take it on.
Yeah, let's take it on. Yeah, exactly. So thanks for coming on and chatting. Anyway, it's been really good. And good luck with everything.
Thanks.